Hey, welcome to Conversations with Ron and Shan. Woo!
We back
We back with another conversation. So today's conversation is being a young mother and the struggles. First of all, finding out that you're a young mother and the struggles within that. And then me being of my age, I'm 35, and not being a mother at all is the topic. So we're pretty sure a lot of people can relate to the young mother and not being a mother type of conversation. So we'll kick it off, mother.
Are we kicking it off? Okay. Well, I was 19.
19, okay. That's when you found out you were pregnant.
No. I found out I was pregnant 18 months after I got 18 months. 6 months after I got out of high school. I found out I was pregnant and I was 18. I had my child at 19, and that was the scariest time of my life because I hadn't been out of high school very long, and I confided in my oldest sister because I kept it a secret for at least 3 months, even though I kept being sick, and I was surprised nobody was noticing while I was being sick and throwing up a lot. So I did confide in my oldest sister, who didn't keep it a secret for me. So once the cat was out of the bag and I shared it with mommy and daddy, they was not happy.
That had to be rough.
My mother was very disappointed. She thought my life was over. She thought that I had made the gravest mistake in the world. And my father was upset, but more silent than my mother. And your grandmother was ready for me to get out the house.
So and we talked about this before, but if I had have come to you and said, hey mom, after high school, 18 years old, and I was pregnant, that would have possibly made your reactions different based on how you were treated when they found out that you were pregnant.
Yes.
You would have been a little more open.
I think if Shannon had told me she was pregnant at the age that I was, I would have been able to relate. Actually, my mother should have been able to relate. She was a young mother as well, but I think her mindset instantly thought I had ruined my life by bringing a child in before I started my own life. So my mother was ready for me to move, and she wanted me to get out if I didn't figure out what I was going to do. I really was going to terminate the pregnancy. I was scared and felt like...
So I wouldn't have been here.
Felt like I wasn't going to make it.
Y'all wouldn't have had this personality on y'all's hands.
So I actually came to the day that I was going to terminate the pregnancy and change my mind. When I did change my mind and decided that I was going to keep my daughter, my mother was like, well, you can't stay here with us bringing no baby in the house.
Oof. So it made you mature fast.
She started helping me look for an apartment too. My mother was really trying to help me. Now let me say, I wasn't mature before person because I was working, had a job, but I don't know that I would have been thinking I was taking a baby along the way. But
you had a life that was depending on you now.
Yes.
So you had to get it together. I always talk about me not being a mother or a parent. Yeah, mother. I said a parent. Me not being a mother, I think in certain areas of my life, financial areas, I think had I been a young mother the way that I am, I know that would have made me mature in certain areas that I'm not very strong in now. Obviously, I'm 35. I've made mistakes and I've learned from those. But I think it would have definitely caused me to be more mature faster had I had a child. I don't have nobody depending on me at 35.
Well, how do you feel not having a child at 35 right now?
It's rough, man. Like, I do want to be a mom. So I have my ups and downs because I come home and I'm by myself. And I'm the only child. Not saying, there are some, and we can talk about that in a later day. Just because you have siblings don't mean I know a lot of siblings that aren't close. But I do feel like with me not having siblings and then with me not having children, sometimes I get lonely. I have my moments where I'm like, dang, I'm coming home and it's just me. And that's why I want to get a cat. If y'all...
She needs a cat because she's going to be the cat lady.
I'm only going to have one cat. Maybe two. Once I see I can take care of one, I might add a second one. Because cats are very low maintenance as far as a dog. I wouldn't be able to travel and do anything with a dog because then I have to find a dog sitter and all that.
I'm not an animal person. She didn't grow up with any animals, so that's going to really make me not visit as much.
But I grew up with a lot of animals. My granny, she had a lot of animals.
Her granny on her daddy's side.
On my dad's side, there was a lot of animals. So I grew up with cats and dogs, and I think she had a rabbit once, and it was a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I've always loved animals. But anyways, our topic is just, do y'all have any feelings? I know I have a lot of friends that I went to high school with that had children young, and now I'm looking up and they're in high school. They going to homecoming, prom. It's exciting to see, and I know that when you all found out that y'all was having a baby, it was like, oh my goodness, is my life over? And we know it's not over. It's just a new chapter. It's a new beginning. You got to kind of reroute because that wasn't the route that you was planning to take. So it's kind of, and I have a lot of friends that don't have kids. That's my age too. And I wonder if they go through the same, because I don't really have those conversations with the ones that don't have children. If they kind of have those lonely moments, I would like to know. You know what I'm saying? We can have this topic.
You know what? I was actually the youngest of the group of people that I was around that ended up having a child. Because a lot of my girlfriends from school or, didn't have their kids until they was in their early 20s. Yeah. So then I had a older child where they were having babies. And I guess looking at it, I always used to think, dang, I done got pregnant at such a young age. But for me, it turned out beneficial because as Shannon got older, I was still young. And so now here she is, 35, and I'm 54.
I had a young parent when we would talk about ages when I was in like middle school and high school. Their parents would be older in age. And I'm like, oh, my mom only be so interesting because my mom would be the younger parent.
Right.
And now the dynamic has shifted because if I do ever have a child or two, I'm going to be the older parent compared to probably the classmates that my child is going to be in school with. Their parents are going to be, good 10 years maybe younger.
And nowadays, I would be considered an old grandparent because I don't have any grandchildren yet. For my age, I should at least have 2 or 3 grandchildren running around. Right. And a lot of my peers
16-year-old grandchild
have kids now. So, what do y'all think? Who's out there with a young mom and a daughter that doesn't have any kids now and she could be in her late 20s, early 30s or mid 30s? What's the topics out here? What do y'all want to discuss? Let us know.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for listening with Conversations and with Ron and Shan.
And we'll be back. Give us some topics if y'all want to discuss anything.
All right.
See y'all later. If y'all want any more information from us about our situations, hit us up.
Absolutely. See y'all later. Peace.
Peace.